In my opinion, and also according to Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, when we are born, we are perfect. We are whole. Our mind is undivided. There's no duality in us. And then as we grow, we learn that some of our characteristics, some of our emotions are bad. So we suppress those emotions and try to get rid of them, ignore them in an effort to please the people around us, the people that feed us, the people that we get our love from. So this causes a split between subconscious and consciousness. Now, in the subconscious, there are a lot of things. I think that the subconscious serves as a conduit for divinity, the divine creativity, intuition, and things like that to flow through us. It also contains these emotions that we've stuffed down and suppressed. The subconscious is also the home of other things that we've suppressed, like events that have happened in our lives that are traumatic to us. And then there are also thoughts in the subconscious that are stuffed and kind of ignored, like limiting thoughts or limiting beliefs are ideas that we form in our mind that kind of coincide with the dark characteristics or dark emotions. They are thoughts or ideas like when we tell ourselves things like, I'm not worthy or I'm not good enough, any kind of thought or idea like that goes through your head. They kind of feed off of and also feed dark characteristics and dark emotions. And it kind of depends on which dark emotion or characteristic that you're talking about and which limiting belief you're talking about, but they can coincide and coexist and feed off of each other. They're neighbors in the subconscious, but they're different things. And then also, finally, we have our dark characteristics, which are the characteristics that we've stuffed, that we've tried to hide from ourselves. Now, the divided self will try to become whole again, and this causes these emotions that we've buried within ourselves to come back to the surface, sometimes quite explosively, sometimes in ways that are beyond our control. This leads us to often feel like we're going around in circles, like we keep repeating the same things, like we have no control over ourselves or over our lives. These dark characteristics can be dangerous and destructive if they continue to not be dealt with. They can burst to the surface in an explosion of anger or some other emotion that can be destructive to you. They can work together to form a pattern of behaviors that is destructive to your life, such as alcoholism or overeating, things of that nature. These are things that can be, that are in our society are often viewed as sinful or evil. Religion tends to put these kinds of labels on things, on these types of characteristics. These characteristics are subjective. They, it might be different. It might be perceived differently between me and you. What I view as a dark characteristic may not be viewed by you as a dark characteristic. However, our society, as a society, we tend to look at certain characteristics or behaviors as more dark than others. So in general, most of us will tend to view different types of emotions similarly. Excuse me, I can't talk today. But we tend to view these things as a whole, but they're actually subjective. It can be different for me, and we experience these things at different levels too, where I might have a big problem with wanting to achieve ecstasy or to feel pleasure, where you might have more of a problem with jealousy. In my understanding, there's a difference between dark characteristics and shadow characteristics. To me, shadow characteristics and shadow work revolve around traumatic incidences that have happened in our life and their effects on us, the shadow that they have left on our subconscious. That is shadow work. What I'm talking about here are dark characteristics and working with your dark half or your dark side, and that involves dark emotions that we've had within us from the beginning. But these are deep personal characteristics, and they're part of what makes us whole. They're traits that everyone has to some degree. Some of us deal with certain things better than others. Some people are more successful in burying or stuffing their emotions than others. But they can be things that lead to, these dark characteristics can be things that lead to dangerous or problematic behaviors. So they need to be looked at and dealt with and accepted, so that they don't become dangerous or a destructive element in your life. Some examples of dark characteristics are anger, rebelliousness, aggressiveness, lust, jealousy, envy, judging other people, hatred, a need to feel good or experience ecstasy. There's all kinds of dark characteristics, and again, it's subjective, so it could be an infinite amount of dark characteristics. These things manifest themselves in many ways. Like how anger manifests in me may be different than how it manifests in you. But again, if they're not handled properly, they can lead to health problems, life problems, jail, alienation. There's all kinds of things that can that can be harmful, that can result from these dark characteristics, even physical death. So how do you handle dark characteristics properly? I've devised a method that I'm going to go into more in further videos, but the main items that I have to deal with dark emotions or dark characteristics start with acceptance, mindfulness, creativity, and then transformation in the end. So I hope this video has been helpful in your thinking about the human mind, subconsciousness, and consciousness, and our dark characteristics. Remember, these are natural things that occur in everybody, and I'm not saying that you should try to cultivate these things, but I'm saying that you should be accepting of them and maybe go on a path of starting to work with them. So I guess that's it.